that 338 mile an hour pass that you talked about earlier from Brittany. We talked about 1,000-foot racing, quarter mile racing, and all that last year. Correct me if I'm wrong, or actually help me get some clarity on this. Are we trying to slow these cars down, or what? What exactly are we trying to accomplish? Because we shortened the racing distance by 320 feet, and these things are still going almost 340. Like I found in 2017, Robert Hight went 339.87, like basically 340 miles an hour in Sonoma. What are we really we're clearly not accomplishing the goal. Like if the goal by reducing the racing distance was to slow the cars down, we have failed. Agreed? Or what? I mean,
yeah.
I think that part of the initial reasoning for 1,000-foot racing has gone out the window. I mean, I don't think you can argue that it gives them another 300 feet to shut down, and especially in some of the tracks that are short. However, we've talked about this too. I feel like 1,000-foot racing at a place like Englishtown, it was I don't want to say knee jerk, but it was made with those types of facilities in mind that are already a little bit short. Pomona is not overly long to give that extra stopping distance, and Englishtown's gone now. And as we start to lose these facilities and these tracks, I've struggled to think of more than a couple of tracks on tour that are quote unquote short. I mean, all of them are built up to the modern standard and have modern shutdown. I don't know that the argument for adding more shutdown is valid anymore either. The other argument that we've always heard about 1,000-foot is tires.
right.
Tires coming apart. Tires were not withstanding that last 300 feet of the track. But, and maybe someone smarter than me can educate us on this, but if the car is going 340 miles per hour at 1,000 foot, is it not under the same aerodynamic and speed forces that it would be if it were going 340 at a quarter mile? Maybe length of time or something like that. I don't know. But these the tires aren't coming apart, thank God, like they used to. I mean, tires coming apart used to be a scary issue. So I'm sure the tires have changed. I'm sure Goodyear has addressed that, and the current tire has solved a lot of that. But my point is, we're getting down to just a couple of things left as far as the reasoning for 1,000-foot racing.
I mean, if the decision was made, and I believe the NHRA put out a statement on it, and I can't remember if I have it in front of me or not, or if it's in our notes here somewhere or not. But basically, to reduce the number of explosions, right, and increase the amount of shutdown that existed.
Cost is the other thing I didn't talk about. It was
there was a multitude of things that they were trying to address, and I guess I'm yet to hear of anybody tell me that drag racing is any more affordable. Pro level nitro drag racing is any more affordable today than it was. And it seems like we blow up plenty of stuff. Bodies are flying through the air.
If you've got these cars, you're pushing them hard enough to go 340 in 300 less feet. Are you not pushing the equipment just as hard or harder than you did when you were going quarter mile?
I think it was Don Prudhomme who said he appreciated, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but he appreciated the effort to make racing safer and whatnot, but it's just the nature of drag racers to shorten the fuse, right?
We see it in all types of drag racing, though. You make real changes, and the guys get better. Across the board, we've seen it in every style of racing there is.
No, I mean, and it's I don't know that there's any way to fully curtail the innovative or stunt the innovative spirit that exists in the sport of drag racing. These are guys and gals are going to find a way to go faster. There's no
technology
doubt about
gets better. And,
man, everything gets
tires
better.
Get better.
Everything
gets better. Right.
Defined almost entirely by the quality of tire. Right.
Well, think about it. A decision that was made in 2008, also with charged emotions after tragically losing one of our stars. Technology maybe has addressed some of these concerns, and
true too.
And I could be wrong, and someone again that knows this stuff in stone can tell us probably, but I feel like at that point in time, it was sold to us by NHRA or by the powers that be that I think the racers had a big hand in this, that this is what they felt like they had to do right now as a potentially temporary measure to fix this issue. But I feel like it's just basically accepted as permanent at this point. And I don't see any way that they undo it but I don't know that it was meant to be permanent at first.
I don't think it was meant to be.
14
I
years
saw
in at
lots
this
of
point.
quotes that were like, this is the solution for now. This will be, I think there were
Yeah.
multiple instances where I saw like, for now, in this moment, this is what makes sense. But it felt to me, and it still to this day seems to me like an effort at some point in time, the time and energy, the money, the resources that are going to be required are going to have to be invested into figuring out how to change the combination enough that we can still see 300 something pop up on the scoreboards. But I mean, I don't know if the effort, if our intentions were to make racing safer and have these cars not going 340 miles an hour, man, we're there. We're right back there. The racetracks are shorter. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing, to be honest. Again, like I don't necessarily have the answer, but it does beg the question, how far and how long are we going to let this go? Right. I mean, it's
Right.
a really,
Well,
really
it kind of
interesting
seems like it's one of these things like accepted at this point, and the kind of hope that you don't bring it up because it's just what we've known. There's a whole generation of racers that don't know anything other than 1,000-foot nitro racing.
And maybe that's, I mean, and to play devil's advocate or kind of see the other side of it, maybe that's okay. I mean, how many times have we talked to racers that never raced with a clutch? I remember interviewing Jay Cox, PDRA Pro Nitro Superstar, right here on this show. And he's like, man, I've never ran a car with a clutch. Like, that seems impossible to imagine racing, having no experience, being a pro mod superstar and having never raced with a clutch. But that's just where we are, right? And maybe we're just flapping our gums for no apparent reason.
Right.
Because
Maybe
this is just
we're the
what
only
it
ones
is.
on this soapbox.
Yeah, we just let them figure it out. I like let them go faster. Hell, I don't give a shit. I mean, they'll pull them back when they need to, right? I mean, they should.
Well,
So,
no, the answer, I mean, the answer would be going back to a quarter mile, but under vastly restricted rules. But that's where the problem comes in. That's expensive.
Yep.
And then that throws a curve at everybody. And there's no doubt that they would, if you limited all these parameters that we've talked about in the past, they would figure it out within a year or two and have it right back where they wanted it.
Probably. I mean, I think that you would have to find a way to dramatically reduce the amount of power these cars make. And it's tough because you still want big old header flames and you want them popping and cackling.
You want to be able to say 11,000 horsepower.
You want to be able to say all these crazy things that we know have been part of the promotional marketing mix for the NHRA for a long time. But I just wonder what would happen in like the NFL if they decided tomorrow that, hey man, we're just going to knock 25 yards off the field moving forward. Like, it's a little sketchy out there. Guys are getting a big run at it. You know, we feel like if we tighten the
Arena
field up,
League, baby.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, look how popular Arena League football is. I don't even know. I can't name a team. I don't even know where one's at. Isn't that all in Canada? I mean,
there was the St. Louis had the Battle Hawks a while back. You know,
yeah, how'd that work out?
They just play it like your local
that was like
convention center or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want drag racing, you know, relegated to convention center status, right? You know what I mean? Like I mean, I don't want JT to be the only one who knows about it, you know, because it kind of seems like that's the case with arena.
JT's just he's, you know how these like betting addicts get. He's got money on the arena game that's happening today in Columbus, Ohio.
You know a guy, you know, knows a guy. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I just really think that I'm really hung up on it. I am, and maybe we're the only ones who gives a shit. I don't know, but it's like quarter mile. I don't know, man. I do think it's something worth talking about, and it's something worth exploring. I understand that maybe the consensus ultimately is there's no way to do it.